What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream, where every week we're on a quest to find out what is the greatest movie of all time. I am Matt Primo, joined by Josh Primo.
What's up, bitches?
This week, let's just go ahead and get it out there. I know Josh is. I'm definitely a Denzel Washington fan. He's one of my favorite actors. I try to watch all of his movies when they come out. Somehow I missed this movie, but I found it on TikTok. And I saw a couple of clips from it, sent it to Josh. I was like, bro, we gotta fucking review this movie soon because this seems like it's gonna be fucking legit. And that is the movie Fences. Came out in 2016. So somehow it just flew under the radar for me up until like a month or two ago. So that's the movie we're going to be reviewing today. But before we jump into that, if you like what we're doing here and you want to consider supporting us, go to patreon.com/2game. That is the number 2. Supports at any of those tiers, and you get access to exclusive Patreon-only content. Also, if you click in the description below, if you're listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, it'll take you to YouTube, and vice versa. If you're on YouTube, it'll take you to the audio-only Spotify version. But also in the description, we have merch now. We have merchandise. Got some t-shirts out there. That link is below. We have a coffee mug as well, variations of t-shirts. We got V-necks, sweatshirts. We got a hoodie, some hoodies, different colors, and more variations of the colors and the logo come in soon. But whatever you buy on that website, a portion of that comes back to us, and it helps grow the podcast, makes all this content bigger and better for you. And I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm in the new studio right the fuck now. Watch the fuck out.
What?
It's not completely finished. We're in phase 2 of 3. I still got some more painting to do on this side of the studio, and I also got to get my bookshelf with all my collectibles and shit like that for the background and hang up my art. But yeah, almost fucking done. Might be another week or two before it's all completely finished. But yeah, go into the merch, buy merch from us, helps us make this better for everybody. Lots of things on the horizon. You can also follow our gaming podcast where we talk about anime, music, movies, the whole 9 yards. The 2 Game podcast, which is the overarching podcast name. But anyways, that's enough of that bullshit. Let's jump into Fences. So the plot. A working class African American father tries to raise his family in the 1950s while coming to terms with the events of his life. This movie was directed by Denzel Washington. Fun fact, he directed Antoine Fisher. I guess I forgot that he had directed that. I'm not 100% sure I've ever seen that movie, and that was supposedly a really good movie. Have you ever seen it?
I never have seen it.
He also directed The Great Debaters. I saw that when it came out in theaters. Not Great Masturbators.
I know they should have made the title Masturbators.
Master Debaters.
Hell yeah.
He also directed A Journal for Jordan. Never heard of that. But this movie had a budget of $24 million, and it grossed $64.4 million. It stars Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes, and it was released December 25th, 2016. So jumping into the fun facts, this was a play originally. This opened on Broadway in 1987, winning the Tony Awards for Best Play, Best Actor, James Earl Jones, Best Featured Actress, Mary Alice. And then in 2010, there was a revival of the play with Denzel and Viola Davis winning Best Actor and Best Actress for the plays. All 5 adult actors reprised their roles in this film. So basically, they're just bringing the play to the big screen. And Denzel performed the play 114 times in 2010.
Damn.
He's a man of the people. So before we jump into the overall impressions of the movie, sir, we got to talk about expectations, okay? Because I feel like that is going to be a huge component of this review. What did you expect going into this movie? Because all you saw were did you look at the trailers or anything? It was just the clips that I sent you.
Yeah, yeah, it was just that. So
Same.
I kind of it was weird because I had seen that clip you sent me, and then I read the little summary of the movie, and I'm like, well, that clip, I don't know how that clip ties into that summary. So the summary made me think of, this is not going to be real deep. It's just going to follow like maybe a athlete that was better in his prime than he is now. So my expectation was kind of on that end that it was going to be a sports related movie.
I don't know, man. I saw the TikTok videos and I sent them to you. I saw a couple more. I saw, I think, two scenes in this movie from TikTok videos. And I was like, bro, this shit's fucking good. Like Denzel is acting his motherfucking ass off in this. And those were kind of my expectations. I thought it was gonna be very dramatified. I didn't know what the overarching plot was gonna be, but I expected damn good acting and I expected it to hit me in the feels. And I don't know. I did notice that it was rated PG-13. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of thought it was going to be rated R originally, but that doesn't take away from the movie at all. It was just a thought. I didn't realize it was going to be PG-13. So we have not talked about this movie whatsoever. While watching this movie, I couldn't help but think that this was totally not a Josh Primo type of movie. The whole time I'm like, oh, dude, he's not gonna like this whatsoever. So you have at it, sir. Am I wrong or am I right?
I've always been a DWDR through and through, and I'm gonna jump on that dick again. I'm gonna jump on it. Now, am I gonna say this is his best movie? No. Is it? Could it use improvements in areas? Yes, but this is a fucking deep ass movie, man, and it touched me in the soul in certain parts of this movie. I loved it. I think it's a great picture.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, and I kind of want to touch base on that. Is it his best movie? No, I don't know if any movie will ever top um
John
American
Q.
Gangster. What?
John Q.
It's like number three. American Gangster and Remember the Titans. I don't know if any movie tops those two.
Yeah, I remember the Titans was a fucking good one.
American Gangster was fucking phenomenal. Oh, and you got throwing Training Day in there too. I mean, Training Day. How did I fucking forget about that one? I don't,
Bruh.
I don't, I don't think you like that movie though.
It wasn't my favorite of his, no. I
You,
tend to like Denzel when he's more in a serious drama filled role, I think.
when Denzel starts, and this is gonna be totally a shout out before I even say it. When he starts shouting and screaming, dude, I don't know what it is, man. The dude can fucking scream.
This dude got it going on, man.
When he gets
And
fucking
you,
pissed off, he can fucking act his ass off.
yeah, what was that other movie we watched when he was in the we reviewed it not long ago, where he was in the hallway with that kid in the projects and he put a gun in his mouth and was like punking him out, was like, go ahead and shoot. Go ahead and shoot me. We just watched it.
Oh,
Was that the
Equalizer
Equalizer?
two,
Yeah.
yeah, Equalizer one and two.
I'm I'm telling you, this is not a movie I think anybody else could have done and I would have liked it. This movie is, for once, I can see past all the dialogue and I'm like, nah, there's not a whole lot going on, but the the point of the movie just is right there, man. It was good.
So you mentioned maybe not his best movie. I would agree with that. I don't think it's his best movie. Is it some of his best acting? You can make the
It's it,
case.
it
It could be.
you definitely could. You definitely and I
This is
think you could make the case that this is some of the best character development or fuck, I
character
don't even know how
work.
to say it.
Character
I
work.
think so. Like I was invested in this character.
Yeah, I mean, I think he put on a clinic with this movie. Like he fucking acted his ass off. I really enjoyed this movie. It's slow. It's what I say 2 hours and 19 minutes. It feels every bit of 2 hours and 19 minutes. It's a slow and methodical movie, but it wasn't like I was standing there or sitting there going, how much more I got left in this fucking movie, man? Like this thing needs to fucking pick the pace up a little bit. No, I was never thinking that whatsoever. I was kind of just consumed by all the acting. Viola Davis has some great scenes in this movie. Denzel, I mean, he's fucking just phenomenal in just about everything. But yeah, I'm interested in talking about Denzel's character uh, for sure here because I don't know of a character in recent memory that I don't know if I hated him or liked him. Like I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah. There's certain parts in the movie where it's I like the character, but then he starts doing shit, and I'm like, that dude, fuck him.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
Like
at the
he.
same time, I'm like, I fucking understand this guy so much.
Well, I think a lot of that is the way we were brought up. I mean, granted, I mean, our parents never fucking hit us like that or, thrown us in the fucking street or anything like that. They didn't go to that extreme. But I mean, not me anyways, because I was a perfect child.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I wish I could argue that.
don't know. I got hit with a baseball bat before.
I mean, I think the statute of limitations is passed. Let's just say that.
Oh no, he'll deny all of this. But I think a lot of it you can relate to because that's kind of how we grew up a little bit with the discipline, yes sir, no sir, all that kind of stuff. Uh and then when you go to work, you fucking go to work. You put the time in, you get your hands dirty and shit like that, right? And that's kind of how we grew up. So I related to a lot of what that character was in this movie, but then when he starts jumping on the deep end and going and banging other women and conceiving them and going in there into his wife and being like, I had this baby and I'm still gonna have it. Like
Yeah, that
he wasn't even remorseful. Like he wasn't sorry. He even says it in the movie, I'm not sorry for anything that I've done. So it makes you not like his character just because he's just a total fucking dick.
but you know what's so fucking weird about that is he is on top of his son the whole fucking movie to make him the best man he can be. And then he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I totally got this chick pregnant.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? That, but that made that character so fucking interesting.
he's 100% flawed. And, you tend to gravitate more towards flawed characters. I don't know if that dude was not flawed in any way, honestly.
Yeah. And I would have to agree 100% with you. Viola Davis did a fantastic fucking job in this, especially when she finds out he cheated on her. That was a fucking powerful scene there.
So when it first happened and her response to everything, it seemed like she was going to play the typical, almost kind of like a battered wife kind of thing where she was just going to be like, okay, it's fine. And I was like, oh, dude, I don't really like that for your character. I kind of wish that you would just tell him to go fuck himself and get out the house. And eventually she got there. It was a progression within that scene, which I really, really enjoyed. It almost kind of like she was working through the emotions of it. And at the very beginning of that scene, she's more like kind of taken aback. She's confused and she doesn't really know how to handle the situation. She doesn't want to lose him, but then as it progresses, she gets angry as he starts talking about how he's always giving and he just wants a fucking minute for himself, which look, as married men, I think we can fucking all agree on that. We just need a fucking minute to ourselves, okay? Every once in a while.
Not me. I disagree with that 100%.
What the fuck ever. hey, hey, squirrel just wants a nut every once in a while, man. That's all he wants.
Moving on.
But right? So we don't get ourselves in trouble.
The
But
guy trying to get me blasted.
But as it progresses and he's very like an egomaniac at this point, and he's just super fucking selfish. That's when she just unleashes on him, and that's when I think that was her best scene in the entire movie. She's crying, she's angry, she was hitting all types of emotions just in that one scene, and yeah, dude, I fucking love that scene.
Yeah, I'm going to make the argument that maybe one, maybe two of the most powerful moments happened in this movie. Fuck.
You have a stroke?
Fuck, I fucking fucked that up, man. It, I must say it has two scenes that could possibly be the most meaningful and powerful in all the movies I've watched ever. Top 10, gotta be.
Whoa, whoa.
Gotta be powerful. Powerful wise. Not good,
That
not like not shooting and killing scenes and stuff like that, but just a powerful statement was made in there, and I think it's one of the tops.
that's a fucking hot take. That's a hot take.
I'm
I don't know if I agree with you. I don't know if I disagree with you either.
I when this happened in this fucking movie, I paused it. I was like, bruh, this hits me to the fucking soul. It's when him and oh shit, hold on. I gotta charge my phone. Technical difficulties.
This guy can't even come prepared, man.
Hell no, I don't have a studio. Damn, I'm in our traveling studio.
Traveling studio.
So it's when Denzel is out on the back with his son, and he's talking about, why do I feed you and all that stuff, and he's like, I don't know, because you like me, and he started going on and on about that, and then he walks
Love
inside, and
that scene.
when his wife comes back out, and she's like, maybe you should stay off of him. He just wants to be like you, and that man says, I don't want him to be like me. I don't want him to be anywhere near me. I want him to be as far away from my life as possible, and that hit me in the feels. I felt that 100%.
I think a lot of his character, and I'm glad you brought that up because I guess maybe I didn't think about it beforehand, but a lot of his character is like you could take it the wrong way. Like the way he comes across is, I want fucking nothing to do with my son. I don't like him whatsoever. Like it's not my job to like you. And the way he comes across is he's being a fucking asshole, right? And he's just being a terrible father. But I think you can look on the flip side, and he's actually being a very caring father. He's just going about it the wrong way, and maybe he's just saying the wrong things. Would you agree with that?
I would. And at first this movie, I was like, where the fuck is this movie going? And this is pretty early on into the movie, about 20 minutes or so. And then that came up, and I was like, wow, this is gonna be a fucking deep movie, and I'm gonna have to pay attention. It was deep. I mean, I guess you could ask 10 men, would you want your children to grow up to be like you? And I'm pretty sure you'd get half and half split on that.
No, that scene is super. That was the scene that I sent Josh, and that was like, we need to fucking review this movie because it's that fucking good. And yes, he goes into this like you. I don't have to like you. It's my job. And he kind of goes and builds off of that. And it's a, like you said, it's a very, very powerful scene. And it tells a lot about his character and his parenting and his him being a father all in that one scene. And there's just multiple scenes like that throughout the entire movie. I think when we get to the point with the I like you scene, like I said, I think he just goes about it the wrong way. And I don't think he's necessarily wrong in his thinking. And but I can see why he goes about it that way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that scene made me think of when I was in high school. I was like 16 or so, 17. Dad was home, and I had got detention for something. Well, I lied and said that I was staying after school to do some kind of math homework. But you're a fucking dick. That has nothing to do with it. What a fucking dick.
you, bro, if you gonna fucking lie, do a good lie.
And somehow Larry dimed me out.
What a fucking
And
dick.
yeah, he somehow dimed me out. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I remember Dad was in the backyard. That's when we had a trampoline on the other side of the yard, and he was raking fucking pine straw. And he told me part of being a man is being able to admit when you've made a mistake and not lie about it. And out of all his talks, that one's always stuck with me. It fucking clicked in my head, and that I've always been like that. I'll let you know I just fucked up instead of trying to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
that
it's
just reminded me of that scene. I mean, he probably wasn't as ginger with me as I'm saying it is when he was talking to me, but it came across.
I got the point.
Yeah.
Whack, whack. I got it. I
Yeah.
got it. But no, I totally relate to that character in that way because I'm definitely kind of give everything for your family, work hard so they can have everything that they want. And as fathers, it's our duty to provide for our family, and no one's going to give us anything in this life. We have to basically take it. And granted, a lot of his character is rooted in racism, uh, back and forth.
Yeah, it is. It
Um,
is.
so I don't relate to it on that end of the spectrum, but I can see and relate to a lot of what he's doing as a father. And like I said, it's not his job to like you. It's just my job to provide for you and make sure you fucking get out of my damn house.
And the second most powerful scene I feel is when him and Viola are talking, and he says, "I've been stuck standing in the same place for the last 18 years," and that hit me big. I felt that one because I totally related to the character because not even like this job plus the other ones I've only had two, but you always hit an area in your job you feel like you're stuck in the same fucking spot. So
Yeah,
it was very relatable.
I felt. I mean, I think we all feel like that eventually. But yeah, it's whether it's right or wrong for what he did, because that's what he says. He feels like he's stuck with her and he can't find any enjoyment. He just goes to work, comes home, and gives the money away, and that's fucking it. So he went to this mistress, and they slept together and ended up having a child. Um, I I don't relate to it on that end of the spectrum, but
Good answer.
just to fucking clarify, I don't relate to that.
I do not have a baby mama.
Right? I got one. That's fucking enough.
Yeah.
But I, I don't know, man. You can go from one scene and love and be completely relatable to that character, and then in the exact same scene, it might be 2 minutes later, he could say some shit. You're like, oh, dude, you maybe took that a little too far. You're being a fucking dick now.
Yeah.
like almost kind of like a villain of the story, honestly. And even though the story's about him,
And so you had the two sons. You had the one that played the musical instrument and the one that does football. Did you notice that the son that played the musical instrument seemed like he was just craving and starving for his dad's approval? And the
yes.
younger son was like, "Get the fuck out of my way and let me be me." And I feel like that is very relatable in a family dynamic setting. I think that's, I don't know if it was just wrote so good that I could understand that dynamic in there, but
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting take on it.
So here's what I'll say about the two sons, and even the daughter that comes later. I don't know if there's enough. I wish there was more. Like you get more with the oldest son, I think, more so than the youngest son. You I mean, really, you only get what, two scenes with the youngest son? Like two big scenes. And then the oldest son, he has what, three or four at least. I would have liked some more scenes with the sons to develop that relationship because one of the issues that I have with the entire movie is the ending. I don't care for the ending whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't really like the ending.
So as powerful as the movie has been for the 2 hours that you are watching this, the last what 15 minutes, you're supposed to like I'm supposed to feel something. It's supposed to hit me in the feels, whether it's I'm like, fuck that dude, I'm glad he's dead, or oh damn, fuck. That sucks, man. I can feel all these characters kind of suffering for better or for worse, um, from his death. And I don't really get that. And I don't want to say it's a character development issue because Viola Davis is there. It's just the issue is like her character changes all those years later. She's definitely she's going to take care of the kid, the daughter that doesn't belong to her, basically. But she's still adamant about her sons going to his funeral. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would have liked it if she would have not defended, but talked more, not for him going to the funeral, like more so against him going to the funeral, because I feel like she should have seen what he had gone through. I mean, dude got fucking kicked out of his own house
Yeah.
and got in a
I
fight with him.
almost want that. I almost want that cliche deathbed scene between his
Yeah.
sons. But on the same time, this movie is nothing like any other movie. I mean, this movie just comes out and just, you know, puts it to you, really.
Shout out.
Wow. And
the
it's a very deep movie, so I don't know if it would have worked in this movie to have that deathbed scene.
but the ending is just not as impactful as it could be. Like
No, 100%.
you can still have that ending, but maybe I don't know, cut a scene or two in the middle of it. Like, do we really need stuff with his
With
the
Bono as much.
no, we definitely needed those scenes because I enjoyed every scene that he was in.
You like Bono? Okay. Okay. I was either way with him. I thought he played the character well. You know what I
No,
would have done?
hold on. I love the fact that every time Bono was there and he was arguing with one of his other family members, he would say, "Tell him, Bono, ain't that right, Bono?" He would always bring the dude into it the entire time.
You know what I would have done? I would have done a deathbed scene, and the oldest son come in there and ask his pop for $10,
Dude, that'd
and
be
he couldn't
funny.
say nothing because that'd been fucked up. Hell, fucking flat, Dad. Dang.
Oh yeah, I love the I like the scene where he comes back and gives him the $10 back, and he's just like, "Nah, dude, you're gonna come back next week and ask me for $10 more. Fucking keep it." I was like, "Damn, he's right," but
What a
did you have to
dick.
say it like that? Oh, how about this, dude? $264 for a roof.
Yeah. Wow. But he
Bruh.
only got paid $76 for that 2 weeks of work.
That's true. That's very true. So I guess it evens out. But two hundred
Yeah, I
sixty
don't
four
think it
dollars.
does.
That's not that right. $264. I heard that. I was like, damn. I wish, man. You're looking at
I'm here to tell you,
$15,000 for a fucking roof nowadays.
thank you. I'm like, my paycheck versus the gap in that roof is quite a bit fucking different.
Right. So another thing, I guess we're kind of running out low on time here. One thing that I kind of want to bring up is the dialogue. I don't know of a movie that has this type of dialogue. Now, you can go and watch Quentin Tarantino movies, which are heavily dialogue focused, especially like Reservoir Dogs and The Hateful Eight. Those movies take place in like one room. A lot of this movie takes place in this fucking house or in the backyard. A lot of it, I would say, what 90% of the movie takes place
Yeah, pretty much.
in the
I didn't.
house.
Yeah, show damn does.
So it has that aspect of that Quentin Tarantino aspect to it, but it's a completely different style of dialogue where Tarantino is more comedy based. It's more like witty and ad libbed kind of. Whereas this, it feels like a natural conversation between multiple people. It almost feels like they turned the cameras on and just said, okay, guys, let's just talk about this. And you just say whatever comes to your mind. It felt very natural to me. It was very unique because I don't know of a movie recently or that I've ever seen that has that style of dialogue.
Yeah, no, and I've never been a big fan of dialogue heavy movies. And for me to come out the gate and say, yeah, this was a badass movie, something was done right in it.
I
And
agree.
especially since ain't nobody did shit like action wise.
Literally,
Just saying.
the most action was the dude getting choked by a baseball bat.
Yeah. Yeah. Touche.
So, did you think the dad was going to totally fuck up that son when he threw that helmet?
Yes.
Put that helmet on, buckle it up. I was like, oh, this dude's been to throw him in the motherfucking bushes.
I thought it was fitting to get rowdy in there.
And he's like, strike one. I'm like, originally I was like, what does he mean by strike one? Is he letting it go or no? He's counting the transgressions against him.
You only get 3 if you don't follow baseball.
Right. I love how Viola Davis's character Rose, she at one point just says, "What the fuck are you even talking about? This isn't baseball." when
Yeah.
when he's trying to relate to compare baseball to him cheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been standing on first base for 18 years. I had to steal second. All right. I don't know if I don't know if this is going the way that you think it is going, sir.
Yeah. What the fuck is you talking about?
But one other scene that I want to talk about that I absolutely really loved. That was Troy explaining his dad. And it gives a lot of background into how his character is who he is throughout this movie. You remember the scene I'm talking about?
No.
He talks about his dad. His dad was an angry man. Uh, Worked every day of his life. Yada yada yada. He went. Him as a 14-year-old went down there to the lake or some shit like that, the creek with that other girl, and she was what 14, 15. I don't know if it actually said her age, but you're assuming she's younger, okay? And
Yeah.
he came to where they were and started whipping him, and he thought he was whipping him because he was there, but no, he wasn't whipping him because he was there. He was there. He was whipping him because he was with that his girl, a girl that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when he said, "That's the day I became a man." And I thought that scene was super fucking powerful. One of my favorite scenes of the entire movie. I'd probably put it top two, top three scenes in the entire movie because you get a lot of his character development in that one scene. It explains his mannerisms and his parenting from the way his dad was, and also on the opposite end of the spectrum, I was not expecting his dad to be a pedophile. was not
Fucking
expecting that.
A. You know,
Was
I
not
didn't
expect.
even. Go ahead.
I wasn't expecting. Like it was just unpredictable. Like he's telling the story about his father, and I'm just like, okay, like the dude just grew old and fucking died, and he didn't really give a shit or something like that. No, it got to the point where he's like, no, I came man because he was trying to bang this young girl, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from?
You know, that's. I didn't pick up that scene as being that in depth, but now that you mention it, yeah, that does answer a lot of damn questions about why he's the same way he is to his sons.
Yep.
I just hopefully he's not trying
Really,
to bang a 14-year-old. That's weird.
yeah, he just cheats instead.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's of age.
That's fair. That you got me there, sir. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Um. So yeah, overall, I love the movie. I was originally going to give it 3 stars, but I think I'm gonna bump it up. I think I'm gonna bump it up to 4 stars. I think it's a great movie. Here's the thing, and it's difficult to sit here and say, hey, you should go watch this Denzel Washington movie as soon as you listen to this podcast or whatnot. Okay, go on Amazon Prime and watch it right now because I think you have to, one, be in the mood for these types of movies. Two, you got to kind of understand that this is not his typical. There's big fucking drama, set pieces, action, anything like that, suspense. There's not a whole lot of that. It's basically just dialogue between characters and interactions between these characters. So if you like that kind of stuff, then this is 100% a movie that you should go watch. I mentioned Quentin Tarantino earlier. It's a it's a poor comparison because it's not the exact same dialogue. Josh, I don't know if you watch many Tarantino movies, have you? I
No,
know
because usually his movies they're kind of like what I'm looking for out the box. Like, don't give a shit if it's rough or not. But like you said, it is usually dialogue forward, and I don't really gravitate toward those movies.
I love his movies. Absolutely love all his movies. I mean, I binged all 10 of his films a couple years ago. It's not that exact same dialogue, so don't go in there thinking that it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm strictly comparing it to the fact that it is a dialogue heavy movie and it's set in basically one house the entire movie. If you are into that kind of stuff, then 100% you should go check this movie out. I think it's going to be a great watch. Um, like Josh and I said earlier, it is a great movie. Denzel is putting on a clinic the entire movie. His acting is fucking phenomenal the entire time. He never lets up. Viola Davis is right there behind him in her acting, but not necessarily the best movie. Not something that I would say on a Friday night, Saturday night. Hey, let's watch. I don't know, Fences. Let's go watch that. Not necessarily what I would say. I mean, you have other Denzel Washington movies you could do that for. But if you're looking for something different, dialogue heavy, a lot of great acting, this is a movie for you.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better, man. I'm gonna go with a 4.5. I mean, if you get me to say I loved a dialogue heavy movie like this with no real pushing story, I mean, it has a story. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like, you're looking for that arcing story that I usually go after with the action and the whatnots. I just can't think of any. The acting was just so great. The way they played off each other, like you had mentioned, it was uh just like you were there. It was very well written. So yeah, I would recommend it. 4.5.
Absolutely. I'm very surprised that you ended up liking this movie as much as you did.
I'm quite surprised myself.
You surprise me every once in a while, man.
Hey, well,
Well, but guys, that is going to be it from us. If you have seen Fences and you loved it, didn't like it, comment below. If you're watching YouTube, comment below. Like, subscribe to all of our content on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to our podcast. Uh, that helps us grow. And then also merch down below, links down below, all that good shit. Patreon.com/2game. We appreciate y'all support. Appreciate y'all clicking on this review. Uh, and we will catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.
Go buy a shirt, bitches. Later.